Valley Recovery Center. And I'm also happy to be here talking to Tiffany. How are you doing today, Tiffany?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. It's good to meet you.
You too.
So if you could tell us a bit about who you are and what it is that you do here at Leona Valley
Yes.
Recovery Center.
So, as he said, I'm Tiffany, and I am the clinical director and therapist here at Leona Valley Recovery. And it is a one-of-a-kind job, and I enjoy it thoroughly. So I've been doing this for going on 5-6 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I love it. I enjoy it. I definitely wouldn't continue with it if I did not. But yeah, I'm honored to be doing this, what I do.
That's great. Okay, so if you, that just sounds so very official. If you could tell us a bit about what a clinical director and a therapist does.
Okay, so the clinically directing part is pretty much ensuring that the facility is operating at compliance 100% of the time. So that is with like Department of Health and certification services, as well as with Joint Commission. And so just ensuring that the staff is compliant, that the documentation is being done accurately. If not, making sure that that gets corrected, making sure the facility is properly staffed, and not just staffed, but with a good staff, a healthy staff. Staff that actually want to be here, and I'm not just here for a paycheck. And so, because it kind of flows from the top to the bottom. So if myself or the owner are unhealthy in any aspect, it's kind of going to trickle down into the team, and then it affects the clients, and everyone's kind of affected. So I am very adamant about making sure I only hire people that I feel are going to be a good fit with this team and with this facility, because I don't want a staff here that does not have the client's best interest at heart or does not actually want to be here. So that's really big to me.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
And that's, now I mean, again, knowing so little about this, that seems like the clinical director and the head therapist part thing, that those feel like two very different things, but
yes.
they aren't.
So yes, one part, the clinically directing part is more administrative, and then the therapist part is just doing therapy with the clients weekly, whether that's like a one-on-one individual, or if there is some sort of crisis and then where I need to intervene and maybe de-escalate things or kind of get the client grounded in some aspect. So yeah, it encompasses all of that. If there's a high-risk situation with maybe a client that is feeling suicidal ideations or something of the sort, that's where the therapist part kind of comes into play in handling those situations. So.
Wow, that's very thorough. If you could tell us a bit about, maybe go into a little more detail about, maybe necessarily how therapy works here at Leona Valley Recovery Center, kind of how you craft therapy for a person, what someone can expect from therapy should they come here.
Okay, so I will definitely say it is very client-centered. It's not always the same with every person because everyone is different.
Okay.
So whereas some clients I may do therapy in an office, with others it may be outside in the backyard or on the porch or on the balcony or going on a walk. It just you can kind of get to know the clients a little bit and get a feel for where it might be best fitting to do therapy with them. And so it definitely is a one-on-one weekly thing that we do. Sometimes more if needed. Sometimes I think last week I did maybe 2 or 3 with one person.
Oh, wow.
We had that many individuals just because they were kind of high risk and there was a little more that they were needing. And so it's definitely, if the client is needing more, we go above and beyond to make sure that they're getting what they need. And it's not just once a week. So yeah, but once a week is just kind of like the bare minimum. So yeah.
That's great. That's so intensely focused upon the person. I couldn't help but hear you mention, some of the therapy. Sometimes it's in the backyard or it's going on a walk. I mean, this place is just so strikingly beautiful in the time that I've been around here. If you could maybe talk a little bit about some of the amenities and just some of what's around here in this environment.
Yes, and so we do have a beautiful backyard with the pool and the spa. We have this amenity where all of our clients that are getting ready for discharge, we kind of have a masseuse come and they all get a massage.
Oh, wow.
The day before they leave. And so that's a nice thing that kind of motivates them.
It's like aspirational.
Yes, it is. And so it's definitely a big motivator. We do have like some games out back, some tables of different kinds of games and things. We have a theater room, which is really is legit, looks like a movie theater. And so you have the nice big comfy seats. We have the popcorn machine that we should be arriving like any day that we just added to that room. And so it's we have a lot of definitely a lot of different things you can do on the premises. Not only that, I think the best part is you get to wake up in the morning and you see cows. Like, I know. You literally can walk out in the back, you can walk down our driveway, and you will see cows just grazing. And it is just the most peaceful, for me, and beautiful thing, because who gets to wake up and just see cows in their backyard?
Right.
You know, I mean, and sometimes you can just talk to them. It might be a therapeutic experience. I don't know, but it just, how relaxing. You know, it's such a beautiful scenery, which, I mean, there are other places, you know, there's so many other facilities that are just as beautiful and just as amazing. But you get to wake up and it's so beautiful, and you just have the cows and you have the llamas and you have the donkeys, and it's just a beautiful, it's just beautiful scenery to get up and just, it can be therapeutic, you know, so to be able to see that every morning and even hearing it, it's pretty cool.
It just sounds, I mean, just to hear you describe it, it just sounds so peaceful.
Does it really?
It makes such like a striking mental image. I mean, I could sense that as you were talking about it. And also, just kind of to extrapolate out from what you're saying, I mean, I imagine we are, you know, roughly an hour or so, maybe north of Southern California, of Los Angeles, and that's, whereas to wake up in an environment like this, with, as you mentioned, the cows and the wildlife and the still air, would be such a departure, perhaps, from what so many are used to.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you can literally hear your own thoughts. And I think that's a big issue too, why a lot of people do make the decision to come out this far, like you said, an hour outside of LA, and is because you do get to hear your thoughts. And sometimes that's a huge problem. People struggle with not being able to hear themselves think, or they hear so many outside voices, they don't really know what their voice sounds like anymore. So this is a great place to come and just figure out and remind yourself of what your voice is and who you are and what you like, what you don't like, and get to know yourself again. Because you can actually spend time with yourself, and you get to have that here, and get to know you and hear yourself think for once. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that was very powerful. I'm glad you shared that. That was really good. That was great. You know, I've been asking this question today. You know, what are some of, and you might have just touched on it in some of what you just said. What are some of the more rewarding aspects of the work that you do?
It's rewarding when you see people, I will say it's rewarding when you see them complete the program and graduate, because a lot of people, honestly, they don't make it that far. The sad part is that everyone that walks through the doors here is not always ready for recovery, because it's a lot harder than what they thought it was going to be in their mental image. And so that is one thing that's rewarding, is actually seeing them stay, tough it out, and graduate, because that's huge. It's a big deal. And I think it's also rewarding when it's like months down the line or a year and they reach back out and they're still doing really good. And they tell you about all the progress, and they're just so excited to share with you the job that they just got at, I don't know, Carl's Jr. or the mall or something. It could be such a simple job, but for them it's huge. It's the biggest thing in the world. And so it's very rewarding. Or to say that they are this close to getting their kids back, you know, or they're reunited. I have a client last week that was saying, you know, just to be able to talk to my mom every day. He didn't have that for 5 years. And so now he gets to talk to his mom, and for us it may seem so simple and something that maybe sometimes taken for granted, but here is someone who did not have that for 5 years. She wouldn't answer his calls, changed her number, and now he gets to talk to her every day. And so those kinds of things are rewarding for me to hear, that I was actually a part of that, you know, of him getting to that place in his life. So yeah, it's very rewarding.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, something I'd like to ask people is that, you know, a lot of these videos will be in different places online, the conversation you and I have had today. And it could be someone stumbles across them because they're thinking, hey, should I get help? What should I do? They're kind of in that deciding space. So what would you say to somebody that came across this video that was considering reaching out to Leona Valley Recovery Center? I
would say that it definitely will probably be one of the hardest decisions you ever have to make, but one of the greatest ones. And I would say it's not going to be easy. And whoever told you that it was, they lied. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it if you want it bad enough. And I would just say, I mean, if you're looking at this video or and thinking about someone that you know that could need Leona Valley Recovery, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that they're already at rock bottom. There's no further that they can go, so you might as well just pick up the phone and or go to the website and make the call and get in touch, because it only gets better from here. So, yeah.
Well, that was great. That was all the questions I had for you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to say, that you'd like to add, or you'd like to tell us?
The last thing I will say is, I think what makes this facility different, which I kind of mentioned earlier in another meeting, is that with this facility, the owners really care about the clients here. And it's not very big that you see facilities and where the owners are like a huge part of the program, coming every day, checking with the clients and the staff and actually just interacting. You don't see that really ever. And so I just want to say that this facility has amazing owners, and they come maybe 3 times a week, and they just come and they make coffee for the clients, and they'll go outside and maybe sometimes have a cigarette with the clients, you know, and they're just sitting there talking, they're relaxed, they're here for hours. Sometimes they come at night, unexpected, unannounced, just to hang out, and it's a really big deal. You don't get that. And so when you have healthy people like that running the facility, it flows down and it affects everyone else. And so it's a huge part of what I think makes this place different from every other facility, you know. And so I just would say that it should give one peace and encouragement to know that they are considering coming to a place like this where the owners are very heavily involved in the treatment and very caring and concerned. So, yeah.
That's great. I don't think anyone's ever said that to me before. That's
Nice.
really unique. And, well, I could have talked to you all day. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
You're
today.
welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
On behalf of the groups here, my name is Greg Benevent. Take it easy. Have
Oh.
a good night.